Hi guys, and welcome to Escape with Watch Reviews. My name is Steve, and today we're going to be reviewing the Nivada Grenchen Chronosport. I received this watch for free, however, I don't get to keep the watch, it's got to go back, sadly. But no matter how I get a watch in for a review on this channel, you're always going to get my honest opinion every single time. And if by the end of this review you want to pick one of these up, or in this case pre-order it, I will leave a link to the Nivada Grenchen website down below. The retail price for this watch is $500 US on your choice of a strap, or $700 as shown here on the bracelet. Currently, the watches are on pre-order, set to ship mid-July 2025. For this pre-order, we're getting this colorway here. There's no other colorways available that I could find. I've seen this before with salmon-colored subdials, as well as one other one that I can't remember, but yeah, this is the one that is up for pre-order now, set to ship in mid-July. Watch case and bracelet are made of 316L stainless steel, has a sapphire crystal with anti-reflective coating, a screw-down crown, a screw-down case back, 200 meters of claimed water resistance, and the watch is powered by the Seiko VK67 Mecha Quartz movement. So this is my first Nivada Grenchen watch, and while the watch is very nice, $700 is a lot of money for a quartz chronograph. So you have to love this thing, and I love this thing. And with nothing else really on the market that can compete with this as far as the looks and the different functions of the watch, I think given the brand's history and how nice this watch actually is, I don't think it's too much money. And that's backed by the fact that these things keep selling out very quickly. They do these kind of limited edition launches and then they sell out pretty much immediately. So yeah, if you want the watch, I say pre-order it now. Let's get into the review, see what you get for your $700, and find out why I like this watch as much as I do. But before we do, doing a quick wrist check, as always, wearing a MMI watch. This is called the Four Seasons. Really cool, an actual washi dial, absolutely stunning. And yeah, a review for this one will be coming up probably very soon, if it hasn't happened already. All right, so first things first, get to dimensions. Got a diameter of 38 millimeters, case thickness of 12.9 millimeters. We have a standard 20 millimeter lug width. Got a lug tip to lug tip of 44.4 millimeters. On the bracelet, the total length is 50.3 millimeters. And sized up for my 7.5 inch wrist with about 4 links removed. Weighs 144 grams. So I really do like the dimensions on this case. 38 millimeters. It's actually smaller than I thought it was. I figured it was closer to 39 and a half. So in my opinion, it wears a little bit bigger. Pretty compact lug to lug, and it does have this kind of cushion or tonneau shaped case. I think it wears very, very nicely. 145 grams. Doesn't feel too heavy either. That's usually about my max as far as weight goes on a watch when I start to feel that weight too much. Here it feels very balanced. And yeah, I just really, really have been enjoying this watch and how it wears. You can see there's a little bit of turn down to that mid case there. So for me, I think it wears fantastic. I'm going to go outside right now and throw it on my wrist for you. And here we are on my 7.5 inch wrist, and I really think there's a lot more presence than the 38 millimeter suggests. I'm not really sure why. Maybe it's because it's a cushion case. I'm not really sure, but yeah, I think it just wears a little bit bigger than 38 millimeters, and I'm happy for that. I think the lug to lug is short enough that it looks good and wears really nice on my wrist. Lots of light play off of the bracelet, which is just awesome. We'll talk about it later. And off those polished chamfers on the case. You can see there a little bit of a turn down to the case there, but I mean, it just hugs my wrist very nicely. So it's nice and flat, and I think it just looks excellent. Underneath this oak tree, all watches struggle to show off the dial. This one does a pretty good job. It's fairly legible for the style of watch, in my opinion. And yeah, I mean, I just love the way that this watch wears and looks. Let's go throw it on some straps, though. And first up, here we are on a red, smooth, cut-to-size FKM. There's a little bit of red on the dial, so I figured this might be okay. Probably a little bit too much color for this one, so I'm going to go throw it on some more subtle colors and more fitting colors for this watch. And here we are on I call these mosaic FKM cut-to-size straps. Kind of has that vintage look to it that I just really, really enjoy. And I think it just kind of works on this watch here. Super comfortable. No real clearance issues either, so very happy with these straps and very happy with this setup here. And here we are on a rally strap, leather rally strap in brown. I think it looks pretty good. Simple stitching. The brown kind of brings out the sand tones on the dial. I just think it looks excellent. This is kind of the strap that really goes with this style of watch, in my opinion. It looks really, really good. This is off of my undone watch, and I believe you can buy these straps separately. I'll leave a link down below if you can. And next up, we just have a simple black elastic style strap, one layer underneath the watch, still sitting very nice, super comfortable, just kind of a classic setup for this thing. It looks great. And lastly, here we are on a nylon strap with 2 layers underneath the watch there, and it's still sitting very nice. This is kind of a khaki sand dune style. I can't even remember the color that they called it. This is from Clockwork Synergy. I'm not even sure they sell this strap anymore. I've had it for about 4 years, but I think it was just a perfect match on this watch. It looks awesome. All right, let's go back inside and let's get back to this review. All right, so let's talk about the case finishing. So case finishing, very nicely done. It's a mixture of brushed and polished surfaces. You can see the top of the case here, really nice satinized vertical brushing, very consistent, very even. They did a nice job on that. Flipping it to the crown side here, you do have a signed screw down crown there with the Nivada logo. Looks really good. It's a nice big screw down crown, plenty of grip on it as well. And then you have simple piston style pushers there for the chronograph functions. Horizontally brushed on the case sides. Again, very nicely done. High polish, these big chamfers you can see. They kind of start at this point here and get really wide there in the middle of the lug and then kind of taper up here towards the middle of the case. Very nicely done, nice polishing, nice sharp transitions. Yeah, it's just done exceptionally well. Really happy with the case finishing on this. You can see on the other side here, looks really good. You can also see that the bezel kind of sits down into the case a little bit. It's really interesting, very nicely done. You have full access to the bezel here at the 12 and 6 as well as the 3 and 9, and then it's kind of hidden in between there. It's a really interesting look, but I think it looks really good, and functionally it gives you all the grip that you need on it. Really happy with the case finishing on this watch. Flipping it over to the case back here, you can see mine is actually centered perfectly. I've seen it where this is not perfectly centered, so I think I just got lucky, but you can see there, really nice engraving of the Nivada Grenchen logo there. And then it says since 1926 down there. A little bit of a spec sheet around the outside. Brushing and polishing on this. You get simple notches there. It's a perfect case back. There's no sharp edges on it or anything like that. The bottom edge of the case here has been deburred. There's no sharp edges on that either. It's been super comfortable for me, and I just think they nailed the case on this watch. It is fantastic and really cool attention to detail and kind of quirks with the design of it. I really like the case on this watch, and they finished it to a very high standard. All right, so let's talk about the bezel on this. So having a rotating bezel on a chronograph watch is unique in its own right. This one here, we have markings as a typical dive style bezel. We also have hour markings there, so you can use this as a 12-hour bezel. So it's a very functional bezel. It is bi-directional, as you can see here, and just smooth. There's no clicking to it. The resistance is even all the way around. It has a loomed pip there at the 12 o'clock position. So you're obviously going to get a perfect alignment on this thing. The grip on it, like I mentioned earlier, very nice. It's an aluminum bezel. There's no bezel insert or anything like that. The numerals there are engraved and filled with white paint. It's not luminous, which is fine. It's just a really interesting bezel, like very functional. And that's kind of one thing that I really like about it and that I haven't really seen with another watch in this style. So yeah, very cool bezel. I like that it's a bi-directional bezel, and I think they just kind of nailed the resistance on it. Maybe a little bit light, but it's really not that bad at all. Yeah, it's just a very cool looking bezel though. I like that it's all black and doesn't have a bezel insert, so it's just a very clean look. All right, so let's talk about the crystal. First things first, testing it for sapphire. It is positive for sapphire. So we have a box dome sapphire crystal with clear and a reflective coating. It's a really nice crystal, I gotta say. Look at the distortion on the edges there. Really nice. Clear at the extreme angles there. Yeah, I mean, it's just a really good crystal. My only real complaint with it is that the distortion kind of blocks the dial as far as the tachymeter ring around there on the outside. That's really my only complaint about the crystal. Otherwise, very nicely done. It is a beautiful piece of sapphire crystal. There you can see the side profile of it as well. Just looking really, really good. Very happy with the crystal on it. All right, so let's talk about the dial on the watch. So we have a textured black dial there. The outside ring, as I mentioned earlier, is a tachymeter ring. It does get obstructed just a little bit by the crystal there. You can, it is there for your tachymeter needs if you ever need one. Get your Nivada Grenchen logo there at the 3 o'clock position. Mecha Quartz. I really wish they would have put Chronosport there instead of Mecha Quartz. And then you have your depth rating in red. That's an all throwback to the 1970s Chronosport that this is kind of a reissue of. But I do like the dial on the watch. You have printed aspects everywhere else. All the indices are printed. Kind of a faux patina lume there. You got these little lume dots as well in this orange that kind of matches what's on the minute and the hour hands there. A simple white seconds hand for the chronograph. Simple white hands for all of the chronograph subdials as well. The subdials, they also have texture, so you can kind of see it there. It's kind of the sandy color. They have this really cool Art Deco design, throwback to the Daytona with the markings there on those subdials, and that's because way back in the day, the old Chronosport was made in the same case manufacturer that the Daytona was using. So, back then they kind of mix and match case manufacturers, and so yeah, you kind of get some bleed over in design, and that's where that's coming from. So I like the dial layouts on this one. You have a 12-hour chronograph counter instead of that useless 24-hour dial, so very happy with that. I like this kind of sand colored as opposed to the salmon ones that were on the earlier ones. This is kind of a nice earthy, kind of dark brownish tan color. It looks really, really good, and it matches that lume pip there at the 12 o'clock position just perfectly. The handset that they chose on this, really interesting. You can see this white paint line here that runs down the middle of them. That is actually lumed, and then the faux patina color there, that is also lumed. So it's really interesting. It's on both hour and minute hands. I think the handset is a good length. They don't really get lost. It's a pretty legible chronograph given how much is going on here. So yeah, pretty happy with the overall layout and proportions of the dial. I think it looks good. The date window there at the 3 o'clock position looks good. It's centered, and it has this nice frame around it. So yeah, I'm overall pretty happy with the layout of the watch here. The lume on it, it's not the best lume. It's far from the worst lume, but you can see it against a couple other watches here. And, it's kind of somewhere in the middle. Big lume plots for the dial. The hands, they do get lost a little bit. I wish to see a little bit better lume application on the hands, but it's still, readable for at least, 15 minutes or so in the dark. So it's, again, not something you want to rely on, but yeah, it's definitely there, and it's actually okay for what it is. Printed faux patina is never great, and being on a chronograph, you don't expect it to be good either. So yeah, the lume is just somewhere in the middle. All right, so the movement inside, it is the Seiko VK67 Mecha Quartz movement. If you're unfamiliar with this, it's a quartz chronograph movement. It has some mechanical aspects of it, so you do get this nice satisfying click for the pushers there. Pushing that top one there starts up the chronograph seconds. It ticks 5 times per second, so you get a pretty decent sweep there. You click it again, click the bottom pusher, and it snaps back to a perfect reset there. The alignment on the chronograph seconds hand is perfect. You can see the minute hand behind it is just a little bit off. But, those hands are so tiny. I've set them myself, and it is almost impossible to get them perfect. So I think that's probably fine. But yeah, these movements, they're accurate to, I believe, plus or minus 30 seconds per month, a 3-year battery life. They are just really nice and reliable movements. This one is operated by this 3 o'clock screw down crown here. First position does nothing. You get a decent satisfying pop out there once it disengages from the threads. Pull it to the first position. This is where you change your date. Once you see that, the date seems to be centered very nicely. Pull it out to the second position there. Does hack the movement. So this is your running seconds here. This is where you set your time. Everything functions exactly as it should. The alignment on the hands is very nicely done. Yeah, there's just not too much to complain about. Good action on the crown. Everything feels pretty solid. Yeah, screw in, screw out action is nice and smooth, picks up the threads right away. Like I mentioned earlier, you do have a 12-hour chronograph counter there, so that functions just great. I had it running all over last night. It ran for 11 hours with no issues. So yeah, I'm really happy with the movement in this watch. $700 is a lot for this movement. I've seen this same movement in watches that are $100. So yeah, you're paying a lot for the brand and for the watch and all that kind of stuff. But the movement is nothing fancy, but it's definitely functional and very user friendly, and it's going to last a long time. All right, so let's talk about the bracelet. So like I mentioned earlier, the watch comes on a rubber strap or leather strap for $500. For an extra $200, you can get it on this bracelet. So $200 for a bracelet and a clasp. It better be a good one. And I'm happy to say it is a very nice bracelet. Like I mentioned earlier, it's 20 millimeters in between the lugs there, but you can see the bracelet does flare out to around 24 millimeters and then tapers sharply and nice and smoothly down to about 16 millimeters at the clasp here. We have 3 solid links. They are solid end links as well. The fitment inside the lugs, nice and tight. You can see the end link doesn't quite flow with the case lines there. I kind of wish it would stop short there, but I know why they did it. I just wish that they could have integrated that just a little bit nicer, but I do like the look of it. It's a very unique looking end link. Usually you have some sort of lines here, but it's just all very smooth, but it fits in there nice and tight. There's no wobble or anything. Nice quality spring bars as well. Sadly, this does not come with quick release spring bars. It's something I'd like to see, especially at this price. But the bracelet itself, very nice. It does come with screw pins. Very small screwdriver there is necessary to get those out. I removed, I think, 4 links, and then there's plenty of links left here. So this should fit down to about a 6 1/4 inch wrist, I'd say. But yeah, really happy with the bracelet. You can see the tolerances. They're a little bit sloppy, but that's kind of what you want on this. It's a flat link style bracelet. It doesn't pull my hairs or anything like that. The bottom edge of it has been nicely rounded off. The bottom finishing of the bracelet, super smooth. They just did a very good job with this. You can see just how tight the tolerances are there as far as the space in between the lugs. So it gives a really cool look, lots of cool light play. It's been a super nice and comfortable bracelet, and that's it takes a lot for me to enjoy a heavy watch on a bracelet, and this one is that. So yeah, really happy with that. The clasp on it is also really nicely done. It reminds me a lot of my my Forstner bracelet clasp, kind of this brushed on the top here and then polished on these side little rails, polishing on the side here. You got these 2 little button pushers here, nice and rounded off. They got a little bit of design and style to them as well. Really nice Nivada logo there engraved in it. It's an excellent clasp. Pushing it open, opens it up right away, fully milled on the inside of this really cool release system here. Yeah, it just functions perfect. You get nice, satisfying clicks there every single time. And then you have the on-the-fly adjustment system. So this is one of the better on-the-fly adjustment system clasps I've seen. It's not super long, which is one of my main complaints. It's not super thick either. It's a very nice, low-profile, good length clasp, and it works absolutely perfect. So you don't need to depress the button here to shorten it. So I usually put it on the wrist a little bit long and then shorten it while it's on the wrist to get the perfect fitment. But yeah, you just press the button and that releases it. You got, I would say, about a 1/2 inch of adjustment here. So yeah, I am pretty happy with the on-the-fly clasp. Nice, smooth action on it. Super smooth clicks. It's just a very nice bracelet. Nice overall setup on the bracelet. It's a big, chunky bracelet, but yeah, I kind of love it on this bracelet. I think it looks fantastic. You do get those male end links that poke out a little bit, but really the watch is short enough that it's not a big deal. Yeah, I'm really happy with the bracelet on it, and honestly, I kind of think it's worth the $200. So there you go, guys. That is the Nivada Grenchen Chronosport, a VK67 quartz chronograph. Really killer vintage looks. It's a throwback to these 1970s Chronosport, but yeah, in a more affordable and wearable and usable package with the Seiko movement. I keep saying $700 is a lot for this movement. I've seen them in $100 watches before, even less than that. So you have to really love this watch. And I got to say, I really do love this watch. Sadly, I have to send it back. I'm going to see what they will give me this watch for. If I can get a little bit of a discount, I might actually pick it up. Yeah, I mean, it's just a really fun and cool, interesting looking watch. Something you don't see from anybody else doing a watch with a bezel like this in these colors, in that case shape with the bracelet. I think it's just a total home run in my opinion. So a little bit expensive, but man, I gotta say it's probably worth your money. So I've been loving this watch. I think you guys will love it too. I think that's it for me. Thanks a lot for watching. I'll see you in the next one.